everyone, welcome to Pop Culture Vortex. I am your host, Alex Pinto, and in this video we are going to be waxing on, waxing off, as we are here to talk about the new film, Karate Kid Legends. Yes, I believe this would be the 7th installment within the Karate Kid saga. Yeah, okay, the original 3. Next, Karate Kid. No, I think, no, it's the 6th film, as there was only, technically, it was only 5 movies. So yeah, like there was the remake, and then of course this is actually the 6th installment within the Karate Kid universe, and of course that this is actually following off the heels of what we just had in Cobra Kai, as it just finished this the last season this year, and it was pretty damn great. So yeah, for this video I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the video. Right, what did I like about this movie? What did I not like about the movie? I will be giving spoilers, so if you have not seen this film, you have been warned, as I will be going into some detail within this film. So yeah, before we get into it, please hit that like button if you like this video, and if you want to show your support and see more content, hit that subscribe button. So let's get right into it. So the Karate Kid is a franchise that means a lot to me. I love the original Karate Kid. That's a film I watch very often. I like part 2. I really like his storyline in Okinawa. I really like that one. I don't like 3. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't like 3 at all. I mean, there are moments. I liked Terry Silver, but I don't like the film overall. Next, Karate Kid's a guilty pleasure. I'm sorry. I know some people are going to get mad at me, the fact that I might think that film is better than 3, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. And I like Hilary Swank. I can't deny that. I don't like the Karate Kid, the Kung Fu Kid, if you will, the Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. I love Jackie Chan in that film, but I don't care for Jaden Smith. I thought Jaden Smith was terrible in that film. He basically put that film down for me. Yeah, I did not like it at all. So yeah, this film has some mixed reaction right now. I believe it has like about a 58% of Rotten Tomatoes, last I checked. But so it's gotten mixed reaction from critics. It does look like it has a higher audience rating on there. Like I believe it was about like 80 something on there. So pretty interesting. So I went in there, I was like, okay, I hope it's at least decent. I hope I at least have a good time. So of course, I will say up front that I do love Cobra Kai as well. So so of course, fans were also wondering, where does this fit in within the Cobra Kai universe? Are we going to see some characters pop up from Cobra Kai? So let's get right into all that. What do I like about this film, first of all? Well, first of all, let me just point out the cast, like Ben Wang, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, Joshua Jackson, Ming-Na Wen, and Sadie Stanley. All right. So Ben Wang plays Li Fong, the new Karate Kid in this film, right? Now, I actually kind of missed the first few minutes, but basically, relatively, he has lived in China his life. I think it was Beijing, and he trained under Mr. Han, who, of course, is the character Jackie Chan plays. He was the one that trained Jaden Smith's character, I think it was Dre, in the Kung Fu Kid, if you will. So the thing is now, the fact that he had just gone through a terrible tragedy with his brother, so I guess his mother had gotten a job in the U.S., so they decided to move to the U.S. and for him to start a new life, start over, and of course, no fighting. Now, of course, really, when you watch the movie, you're thinking, okay, they're just basically doing exactly the same thing as the original Karate Kid. Some kid moves to a new area, he's, kind of upset, he has to deal, he finds this girl just happens to be, the ex-girlfriend of a karate champion, asshole, and he gets beat up, and then ultimately has to fight him in a tournament. Yeah, it has that. I mean, what can I say? There's nothing really new. However, then they kind of go off on this other storyline where, Mia, played by Sadie Stanley. Yes, Sadie Stanley. Her dad is running this pizza shop, right? However, this man is going through some debts to some very bad people. And in order for him to hopefully, get even with these people, he wants to partake in a boxing match. All right? So Lee takes upon himself to train him, but using some kung fu methods like the speed and everything, so that hopefully he can win and, of course, get even with these people. And of course, they do have that scene where, Joshua Jackson's character, does get attacked. And of course, Lee kicks some ass and stuff. That was a good fight scene and all that stuff. I'll dive more into it in a bit. But, we'll But one thing I'll say about this movie, I do like the fight scenes. The fight scenes are pretty damn awesome. They're well choreographed. I do believe these are actually probably the best looking and choreographed fight scenes in any Karate Kid stuff, including Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai had some pretty damn good fight scenes, but I feel like this one looked the more convincing. Now, of course, it does help that you have some like Jackie Chan who probably choreographed the majority of them. And of course, Ben Wang, you can tell he's a very skilled martial artist. That kid has a future, right? Like, come on, that kid better be like the next big martial arts, action star. Like, I can see it already. He's phenomenal. Which, by the way, Joshua Jackson being in this film, I mean, when I saw him, like, hey, that's Charlie from the Mighty Ducks. Look at them. My childhood is coming back to me. The fact that we got a Mighty Duck in there, and the fact that it's in a Karate Kid film, pretty damn awesome. But anyways, I like the chemistry between Mia and Li Fong. I thought it was okay. I thought it worked. It was kind of cute at times. And I did like Joshua Jackson's character. I liked his dynamic with Lee and all that stuff. And Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are great in their respective roles as Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso. And we'll get to Ralph Macchio more in a bit. Like, whenever he was on screen, I love Ralph Macchio. He looked great. And let me just say this about Ralph Macchio. In the other installments of The Karate Kid, including Cobra Kai, one thing about Ralph Macchio is while he does have good fight scenes, all right, and they'll be iconic, you could tell Ralph Macchio is not exactly natural martial artist. He's very much kind of sloppy in some of his fight scenes, all right? That's no offense to him. Like, hell, I love Ralph Macchio. I think he's fantastic. In fact, I actually met the man, in person years ago in Fan Expo. He is awesome. He's an awesome dude. But I can't deny that some of his fight scenes don't look the best. In this movie, this is probably where he looked the best during the fight scenes, including the one where it's during the tournaments, right, where they try to attack Lee, and then both Mr. Han and Daniel both interfere. And that was a pretty damn good fight scene. Both Jackie Chan, Daniel, and Ralph Macchio looked pretty damn good. And Ralph Macchio, too, like, I actually thought he actually sold me on his martial arts skills this time around. And even during the scenes where he's training Lee, they look pretty damn good. I will say this, that the pacing wise, I like that it was kind of fast. Let's just get right to the point. Let's just blah, blah, blah. Let's not waste too much time. This movie is actually quite short, like only an hour and a half, really. So that was pretty interesting. So yeah, those are some of the good things I liked about the film. Like, obviously, like I said, and Megan Wan's really good in this film, right? And by the way, that woman does not age. She looks fantastic in reality for her age. So does Ralph Macchio. Like, that man doesn't age either. So yeah. Those are the things I like about this film. Now, what are the things I don't like about this film? Well, first of all, as much as I like Ralph Macchio in the film, and seeing him back as Daniel LaRusso, especially after Cobra Kai, was awesome. Problem is, you don't see him until the last half hour of the movie. You actually don't see Ralph Macchio, the star of the original Karate Kid movies, who has been a star. I mean, granted, one could argue it was basically William Zabka's show, but he was still like a main lead in that show. And he only appears for half an hour of the film. That kind of bothered me, especially because, like, as much as I kind of did like the dynamic between Lee and Daniel, it was very underutilized. There was not enough. I really wish there was more. Stuff like that. And of course, even Jackie Chan was very much underutilized in this film. Like, I felt like he could have done more in this film, but in reality, when he was on screen, he's used very little. And during the last half hour, yeah, he's on screen more, but like, I wanted more Jackie Chan. And then, of course, the storyline of Joshua Jackson's character and his whole boxing thing going on, that dragged on way too long. That actually interfered with the movie at times. I mean, it is cool that at least the reason why that Lee joins the tournament is not to get even with this new bully, It's just that now, because they win a prize, which involves money, to pay off his debt, he enters for him, Because they kind of form this kind of fatherly son bond, if you will, which I thought was pretty cool. But at the same time, it dragged on too much. Hell, Joshua Jackson, I'm pretty sure, has more screen time than Ralph Macchio. And Ralph Macchio is credited like second or third to both Jackie Chan and Ben Wang. Like, so that kind of bothered me quite a lot. And of course, even some of the fight scenes, while the fight scenes look great, at times they kind of zoomed in too much on the fight scenes, and some of the cuts were annoying. So I kind of wish there was a little less of that, going on, so that the fight scenes would look a lot better. And of course, let me tell you, the runtime. Considering that this film basically had 2 different storylines in one movie, this film could have used a longer runtime, or, you could have written these storylines much better, or just focus on one storyline and that's it. So yeah, like, those were things that kind of bothered me within this film. Even that tutor kid, the one that's kind of plays friends with Ben Wang, right, with Lee's character, he was whatever. He had some moments, but he was whatever to me. And let's just say the main villain, right? What the hell is his name? I'm not gonna remember, but the new villain of this film, he's kind of forgettable. He's like, okay, he is clearly a bad guy. He's, let me tell you, he's clearly no Johnny. He's no Chosen, nor is he. I mean, I don't even like Mike Barnes in the original Karate Kid Part 3. Like, yeah, the actor did good. I just never got convinced with that character. But even then, Mike Barnes was a better character than this new villain in this Karate Kid film. It's like, what happened? Like, he's underdeveloped, he's just like, oh, I'm just the bully for the sake of being the bully. So he was whatever for me. Although his final fight with, Lee was awesome. That final fight was great. I loved during that fight scene that as soon as he's about to do his finishing move, they play a bit of the music from the original Karate Kid. When Daniel's about to do a crane kick. That was awesome. I loved it. And I'm talking about one other thing that I do like about this film. Yes, I do like the element that, Lee Fong is a character dealing with grief, both him and his mom, after the fact that his brother died. And he's still dealing with that grief and trauma to this day. And I like how that kind of affects him throughout the film. So I thought they utilized that really well. But yeah, what are the things I don't like about this film? I mean, at the end of the day, when even Joshua Jackson's character, who I said has more screen time than Daniel, as soon as Daniel goes on screen, it's like, they start sidelining characters more and more, and it's like, okay, it kind of becomes a little bothersome. Like, in reality, this film was a little too busy, if you will. All right, like, I felt like they could have written this a lot better so that it wasn't so busy. Maybe just, if you wanted to just stick to the formula, all right? Or just, if you were going to do a film about a kid teaching this boxer how to use some kung fu techniques, then focus on a film like that. Or save that for a sequel. You know what I mean? So there's that. Overall, I do think Karate Kid Legends is a very enjoyable film, and I do think it's a pretty damn good, pretty good new installment for the film, right? I do think it's a nice addition. So that's what I think. I think the film is not great. I don't think it's bad. I think the film is pretty good. All right, it's a pretty good film. I could watch it again if I want to. I think it's fun to watch. I think it's quite enjoyable. I think new generations of Karate Kid fans will appreciate this film more than I will, for sure. I definitely will buy this on Blu-ray, right? I'll probably watch this more times than I will the Kung Fu Kid, for sure. So there's that. And I'll probably watch it more times than I will Karate Kid Part 3 or next Karate Kid. So, yeah. So yeah, overall, I like the film. All right, if you are Karate Kid fans, I highly recommend you watch this film. All right, go watch it in theaters, check it out. I think it's quite worthy. I think it's quite worth the time to go watch it in theaters. And of course, I could not end off this video without talking about the post-credit scene. Of course, most people probably were wondering how much was this movie going to connect to Cobra Kai. In reality, the movie does not at all. Up until this post-credit scene where, Lee sends pizza over to Daniel from New York all the way to California in the Miyagi-Do dojo, right? Okay. So then he receives the pizza, and who is there hanging out is none other than Johnny Lawrence. Yes, William Zabka came back to reprise his role for a cameo appearance in this movie, and my God, was he hilarious, okay? Like, literally, when he sees the pizza, it's like, I got an idea. It could be $1 billion idea. We should open a pizza restaurant. We should call it Miyagi-Do. Oh my God, that killed me. Like, and also, I do love how far they've gone to their friendship. That Daniel looks like, that's disrespectful. And then he starts going, come on, it'd be a good idea. And then Daniel's like, I'm just, no, I'm not. But we all have that one friend that, they say something incredibly stupid, and then we're like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to go do this now. I tend to be that friend. But anyways, and then Johnny was off like, going like, olive off, olive on. Stuff like that. Olive on, olive off. That's what he said. And he goes on to say more puns with the Miyagi-Do. Like, it is awesome, all right? The fact of the matter is, it just says a lot of how great of a character Johnny was on Cobra Kai. Fact is, he appears for one scene in this movie, and it's not even a scene that has anything to do with the story or anything. He just appears, cracks a few jokes, and he's the best part of the whole entire movie. Yeah, that's just how great William Zabka is. I was so glad they fit him in the movie, right? Like, now, granted, he did not do anything. He did not train Li Fong by any stretch of the imagination or anything like that. Although I will admit, Joshua Jackson's character, had he trained him, that would have been a lethal boxing fight for sure. The other guy, well, let's just say he wouldn't come out of there alive. I'll just say it up front. But anyways, guys, that's all I gotta say about this movie. Thanks so much for joining me. I sure hope you liked the video, and if you do, please hit that like button. And if you want to show your support and see more content, hit that subscribe button. All right. Hope you all have a good night, and don't forget to wax on, wax off.